Okay, everybody, I finished binging Twisted Metal yesterday, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on the Peacock exclusive series. But before we do, if everybody watching this video can please do me a favor and smash the thumbs up button. It's the little symbol that looks like this. If you guys could do that, I would very much appreciate it. I don't care if you guys hit the subscribe button, but if everybody watching this video can be so kind, just hit that thumbs up button. It would help out a lot because YouTube and the algorithm, I'm telling you guys, it's crazy. So anyway, Twisted Metal is 10 episodes. Each episode kind of goes around about 30 to 35 minutes, more or less, and it's based off the PlayStation game Twisted Metal. So let's be honest, there was a lot of stigma going into this series because we've seen stuff like Halo, and when you talk about like a series coming to Peacock, you're kind of skeptical. Let's be honest. Like I was really skeptical. I didn't watch it on the day it launched. My close friend Lee, one of my best friends, is a massive Twisted Metal fan. He's been following the series, and he's been like hyping this up, and I'm like, bro, I just don't want to watch it because I'm very skeptical. I've seen what they did with Halo. Last of Us was really good, but let's be honest. There's a difference between something going to HBO because HBO has like this gold standard when it comes to their TV series and streaming series. And when you look at Peacock, there just isn't enough evidence right there to let me know that they're going to take care of this property with care. We already seen what Netflix did with the bastardization of what was Resident Evil. So Twisted Metal, I was very, very skeptical. The trailers were kind of like tongue-in-cheek, kind of gory, but also kind of comical. So I didn't know what to think of the series, to be honest with you. And so I jumped in. I watched the first episode with a very, very low bar. Like this bar was so low, like it was like 20 feet under the basement. It was under the basement. That's how low the bar was. So I went in very, very like open-minded, but also ready to know if this thing was gonna suck or not. I was already preparing myself mentally that this thing could suck. And I have to tell you, I was pleasantly surprised. Like this show really kind of just took me back, and I really, really enjoyed everything I saw from episode 1 to episode 10. I had a great time binging it. I watched the first 3 episodes with my fiance, and then she checked out. Like it was too gory for her. It wasn't something she was interested in. So I finished it on my own, binging the last 6 to 7 episodes on my own, and I really enjoyed it. I love the characters. I love the fact that it is hardcore, it is gory, but it's also very comical. It's the same creative team that brought us Deadpool and Zombieland, so you know what kind of tone you're going to be getting when you mention like that type of creative team. And I really enjoyed the plot of this series where you weren't in the tournament. However, you meet all these characters. You see Anthony Mackie's character, and he is basically a milkman, which is a delivery guy who is basically delivering stuff from one city to another because we're in a post-apocalyptic world where basically all electronics, that's right, your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, all went to shit. And then basically society has to survive without electronics. So I really like that premise. I'm not the biggest Twisted Metal fan of the video games. I've played every Twisted Metal game. I remember being in middle school playing the first Twisted Metal 1, 2, and 3 on the PlayStation. I enjoy those games. I can't tell you what the hell happened in any of those games because the Twisted Metal games are they're the type of games that there is no continuity between the games. There's characters that transfer over, but there's no canon, right? The canon changes all the time. It's almost like watching the Fox X-Men movies. Like they never stay like true to the canon. And a lot of games were like that back then. You go back and look at Mortal Kombat, and each character you play in Mortal Kombat, depending on who you win the tournament with, is the story. So when you get to Mortal Kombat 2, if you beat Mortal Kombat 1 with Johnny Cage, that story is not canon in the Mortal Kombat 2 and then Mortal Kombat 3 and so on and so forth. So that was pretty much the premise of Twisted Metal. So there was a lot of liberties that they could take when it was doing this series, and I really enjoyed that. I didn't know much about the Twisted Metal games other than me just playing it and just wrecking people and getting wrecked with all the cars, basically like a death race style. That's all I really knew. And Sweet Tooth, we all knew the big iconic character that we see on the covers of all the games, which is Sweet Tooth, which I have to tell you, Samoa Joe knocked it out of the park. Knocked it out of the park with that, like it was so like Samoa Joe, big fan of Samoa Joe, wrestler. Like Will Arnett did the voice of Sweet Tooth, and Samoa Joe did all the acting, and those two, the combo between those two, just phenomenal. I really enjoyed the relationship and the chemistry between Anthony Mackie's character John Doe and the female partner that he had. I don't remember the actress's name, but her name is Quiet in the show. I really liked her story. Her backstory is really what kind of kept me invested into the series. I wanted to know how she ended up where she ended up, why she is the way she is. Anthony Mackie's story, they dive into it, especially like in the last 2 to 3 episodes, but you never really kind of have that connection with him. You like him because of the chemistry he has with Quiet. You like him because of the personality. He's funny. He's badass. And that's pretty much the definition of the show. You have all these different characters basically going throughout the Twisted Metal universe, and they all kind of have their moment to shine. Even, Agent Stone or Officer Stone, like he has his moment to shine, and you get a backstory of why he is the way he is. So overall, I went in very optimistic, to be honest with you. I was very, very optimistic going into this series. I didn't know what to expect. I've been let down so many times with so many different video game properties, but it looks like we're on an upward turn. It looks like we're on an upward trajectory with stuff like Last of Us and Sonic the Hedgehog and Mario, and I would throw Twisted Metal in that too. I really had a good time. I really hope it gets renewed for a season 2 because I really enjoyed the series, and I want to see where it goes with season 2 because it leaves off where season 2 is going to be pretty lit, to be honest with you. So I really enjoyed it. So overall, Twisted Metal on Peacock, I'm giving it a solid B. I highly recommend it, even if you are very skeptical like I was. I would say go in with an open mind. It's very, very tongue-in-cheek. It's not serious. It is something that you can just sit back, enjoy, follow the story of these characters, and know you're going to get like that Deadpool Zombieland type humor and action when you watch it. So anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on it. I want to know what you guys think. Be sure to leave your comments in the comment box below. Smash that like and subscribe button. And until next time, as always, I am Robert Storms, and that's my opinion.